Welcome back to the channel. CFCDP here with yet another video, and we're coming to you right after Chelsea drew 1-1 with Nottingham Forest. It was frustrating, and on another day, Chelsea probably win this match. João Felix has a great chance, an open header. Mudryk does an exceptional cross to Christopher Nkunku that he can't head in. So on another day, yes, we probably do win 2-1. But the theme of this video is going to be talking about, could this be Chelsea's fatal flaw for the season, right? And it's something that has kind of plagued the club for a little bit now, the last few seasons. But is it something that we thought Chelsea might have been getting better at, but alas, maybe it's not at the stage that we need it? So we'll get into that, but first I want to give a huge shout out to our sponsor, Cy Phillips Talks Chelsea. Go ahead, link in the description below, you guys know it. Videos, podcasts, written, every type of media platform that a Chelsea fan would want to cover this team is in one single source. So go ahead, hit that link in the description below, subscribe today. Excellent content as always. So, to Chelsea's fatal flaw. I think when they go up against very, very well-drilled defensive teams. So now you're going to be talking about, your Forests of the world, most of the top six, Palace, there's other teams. So Bournemouth was another example, very well drilled in that mid block. That is the challenge for Chelsea. And in a certain game flow where Chelsea maybe don't get the first goal, that gets even harder. In this game, if Chelsea score first and Forest need to sort of expand themselves a little bit more, that's really how Chelsea want to set up so that they can counter very quickly, right? And we saw a little bit of that today, even when Forest had the lead. But to me, the game flow is so important for this team. They're not at a stage where they can really win at all phases of play, right? So like when they're playing that mid to low block, when the team is just very structured and very drilled, it's hard for Chelsea to break that down still, despite all the talent, right? We saw Sancho in the first half. Yes, he had some very nice dribbles, but it was nothing that was really, cutting through the middle of the defense to really cause problems. And that's because they have very good fullbacks. So if your wingers are not getting, penetration, you're going to have a very, very hard time beating that mid to low block because that's where the outlooks are for Chelsea. So when you play an Enzo Fernandez as an 8 next to Cole Palmer as the 10, that was a little bit of a misstep in my opinion, because Enzo does not create necessarily those dynamic forward moments as much as you would like. See, this would be a great opportunity, I think, for me to put Christopher Nkunku in that position, because just from his runs, his passing, his shooting, he's just much more of a forward phase player. And I think against a mid to low block, that's something that needs to be addressed. Now, understandably, we have to have defensive solidity, and Caicedo was on a yellow card, and it was somewhat difficult. But if a team is sort of conceding to you that, hey, we're going to kind of set up shop in our mid to low block, you really need to have guys that can really attack from the middle. And you didn't see Cole Palmer have his best game. He had several chances. A couple of them you probably would rate him to score on a different day. But overall, that could be an issue for Chelsea. So when you start to look at how teams set up against us, and it's going to be different, right? Because top six sides are going to feel like they can go forward, and that might play right into our hands because we might be able to hit them on quick counters. But when you play like these Forests, the Palace, the Bournemouths of the world, when they're very well drilled defensively, that may be a problem. So my question is how does Chelsea solve that? Because I think that's something that Enzo Maresca has yet to really figure out, because you look at the Bournemouth match, and it was very similar. Nothing was really going forward, and yes, we snuck a goal at the end, and it was great, but that really kind of, captured our creativity. So it was an issue. So I think that's something that Chelsea need to figure out for the long term, because that's going to be, it's a copycat league. They're going to be seeing that game plan more than a few times. Now, if teams have the players to carry out that game plan, that's a different story. But overall, it's something that we need to focus on if we're going to take truly that next step in winning in, every type of game style, right? Because we want to dictate, and that's fine. But if we can't, puncture that back line and puncture those wings with our guys, that really is going to just cause a problem. So overall, just kind of looking at different players and how I thought they played today, attack-wise, I thought Noni was, opportunistic, tried a lot of things, got a goal, which was fantastic. Sancho wasn't, it wasn't his best game. He tried a lot of things, but he just couldn't get into the defense. Palmer played okay. I thought he had some chances, didn't convert. Nicholas Jackson didn't really get the ball, so I can't really judge him at all. Moving on to the midfield, I thought Enzo was okay. I thought he did some good things, did some bad things, but you're just not seeing that dynamism that you got from him. I don't know, I'm thinking right when he came, just the long switches of play, the thoughts of the pass and everything like that, it just wasn't clicking for me when watching him out there. Back line, I thought, did a fairly good job. Cucurella did okay. The center backs were fine. Gusto, I think, looks sharp inverting into the midfield. So there's not too many negatives. I think it's just a lack of execution up top because, you hold a team like Forest to one goal, and then you're playing, 25 minutes on up a man. I think personally that should have been enough to win. And like I said in the beginning, João Felix had a really good opportunity and Kunku had a very good opportunity, but they just didn't score. So on another day, yes, we probably win that match, but we didn't. So we can't really, say that it was a positive just because of hypotheticals. But nevertheless, we have a long international break coming. The next match is at Anfield, which will be an incredible test for this team. Liverpool have been playing so well. So we just got to go in and just see what we can do. Wesley Fofana will not make the match because of yellow card accumulation. Cucurella will not make the match because of yellow card accumulation. I wonder what Chelsea will decide to do because I don't know if you could play Tosin and Levi together. I think you need a little bit more of a mobile center back on that side. So maybe we would see an Axel Disasi perhaps. Renato Vega is a clear candidate to start over there on the left-hand sides, and he's been very good. So I think as we get into this international break, we need to start to think about how can Chelsea really play at a level which is good enough to be won, at every stage of play, right? Counter, possession, going against a mid to low block. That's the big question for this team because I think overall we're a good enough team to compete for top four. It's just getting over the line in those certain situations that is going to be one of the key factors in making that. So, as always, guys, thank you for tuning into the video. Let me know what you think in the comments about what I talked about this fatal flaw from Chelsea. Like, subscribe as well. Tell your friends about it, and we will see you next time. Thank you.